I mean, if we're talking about women coming into Aussie speakers, yeah,
Correct. Aussie
and
Speakers USA.
bringing more, yeah, bringing more women into Aussie Speakers USA. Um, the rec well, I say recruiting, or the encouraging of women um, into onto main stages is a big thing everywhere. It's a big thing in Australia. It's a big thing in America. And one important part is how women are referred to by men. And I'll share some insider secrets. So women don't mind being referred to as guys in a lot of different, I think I've got thumbs going up everywhere here.
Yeah.
It does it automatically.
In a lot of cases, but there is this feeling of they don't like being referred to as girls.
Okay. Here you go.
Okay.
And I
And
didn't know I said that. I actually said that.
I know,
I don't
I
think
know,
I did.
Girls,
But
I
yeah,
know.
no, we need more girls. So yeah, we need more girls.
Yeah.
We need more women. We need more female speakers. Like, where
Yeah.
are the Australian female speakers that want to expand their speaking business
Yeah.
into America on bigger stages, bigger audience, more money? Because
Yeah.
that's what I know you're looking for, Terry, is to recruit more female speakers.
yeah, and it's not even so much as like recruiting sounds
Yeah, that sounds wrong. Okay.
well, yeah, look,
Attract,
Encouraging.
encourage.
encourage. I would say it would be encouraging because, you know, at the moment, if you look at the roster and you could go to AussieSpeakersUSA.com, we have Bernadette and we have Elly Johnson. And that's and the rest, the other 9 speakers are male. Like, and I already know how rich we are in Australia with regards to our female, our girls. No, sorry, wrong word, right? See, I mean, I'm walking.
Female's good. Female's good.
Females, right? I walk around with a bucket on my foot already. I already know the quality of the females speakers that we have in Australia, and I also know that a lot of those would be very attractive to a US events audience. Now I'll throw it to you guys, and you can maybe give us an understanding of firstly why you chose ASU as a vehicle and the experience that you've had since you've been here.
Yeah, I'm happy to start that. And it was a number of years ago, pre-COVID, and I don't even know what year it was, but I'd actually set a goal to speak on stage in America. And I told my friends and family, I just want to speak on a stage in America. And they're like, why do you want to do that? I'm like, I just do. It's in me. It's something I want on a bigger audience, bigger stage. I've spoken in 8 countries, but not in the States. And it was interesting, Terry. I don't know if you know this story, but you rang me, and I don't know how we even got connected, but you said to me, hi, Terry Bergen here from Aussie Speakers USA. This is the first round of Aussie Speakers USA before COVID. And are you interested in speaking on a stage in America? And like, what? Manifestation? Where did that come from? And I'm like, yes, actually I am. Like, who are you, man? And then COVID hit and things slowed down, and then I took a different direction. But we're back here now with a whole new model, a whole new approach. And I'm so excited because that is one of my dreams that I haven't fulfilled yet. And I don't want to just speak on one stage. I want to speak on lots of stages. And I know that I'm in the right place now to do that and to grow my speaker business. And I feel really happy and excited and proud to be associated with Aussie Speakers USA, because no one is doing this. No one is helping.
All right. Yeah, but before you go on and explain
Yeah.
why ASU is different, let's go to Bernadette and work out the same part of the equation for her. So how did we meet Bernadette? Where are you based at the moment, et cetera, et cetera?
So I'm currently in Denver, Colorado.
Woo-hoo.
And
Oh, yeah. Right on cue.
Now, I don't know when or how we met, Terry, but it was before COVID as well. So it would have been back, Ali, when you had that conversation as well. Now, here is the really weird part of how this journey kind of came about. Terry, we had a conversation. I don't even know how it worked out. I don't know whether you had mentioned that Matthew Pollard was living in America at that point in time. Matthew and I had a conversation. I think you and I had another conversation. And you mentioned, and I mentioned the same thing. I said my husband wanted me and him, to both of us, to come and move to America. But of course, it was never going to happen. And you mentioned the attorney, that you mentioned an attorney, a reference. And so we just jumped on and we had that conversation with the attorney. Lo and behold, we went through the process and it wasn't going to work. And we went down another path with that attorney and we ended up, believe it or not, getting the Einstein visa.
Oh, so you went with Melissa Markell, right?
No, we didn't go with Melissa. We went with
another lawyer.
Yes, in LA.
Right.
And then COVID hit. And so it was put on hold. And then 3 years ago, it opened up again and both Tim and I were given residency. Who would have thought? So we've come here, and then as I'm jumping on a plane to go to my daughter's wedding in March, you and I had a conversation at the airport. I was at the airport ready to jump on a plane back to Australia. And so that's the full circle. I'm back here now, but I'm here in Denver, Colorado. And it's as a result of you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's
probably fair enough to say that I've just I still work with Matthew Pollard. I still work with Matthew Pollard, but I've just done my experience in the US basically involves doing 10 years of building Matthew's speaking business. We went from Matthew was getting around about 2,500. I think when we first met him, he was doing a lot of small stuff. And then we worked together with Michelle, who's my partner, and with Matthew over a 10-year period. And now Matthew's one of the most successful sales speakers, not only in the USA, but in the world. So the lessons that we learned along the way, and I know Matthew will back this up because we're still very close, an amazing business mind. Matthew taught me so much about niching and systemization that I now bring, and he's graciously said, away you go. Take this to the Australian speakers and show them how to do it. And that's basically what we're doing at ASU. Segue, Elly, on part 2.
Oh, what was part 2?
Well,
put my hat back on.
How's your
part 2?
How's your experience been with ASU, and what have you noticed as a major difference? Now, I know we're only a month and a half in. However, I'm sure you've noticed.
That's important to note that ASU, this version of ASU, is relatively new. And I'm speaking to 2 women today that reached out on LinkedIn to me yesterday and interested in being part of the family. And I know that they're going to ask questions. How is this different? Is this a speaker bureau? What is it? How does it work? Actually, one of them messaged me and said, how come there's not many speakers yet, when I went to the website? And I said, because it's a new initiative and it's never going to grow to have, like, you go to some speaker bureau websites and there's thousands and you think, I'm going to get lost in that. If I put my profile on there, I'm just that one little tiny person against thousands and thousands. And the ASU model is very different, which I won't go into because Terry can explain it better than anyone. And it's worth, ladies, if you are looking to expand your speaker business into the States, it's worth having a conversation with Terry. And he calls a spade a spade. He'll tell you how it is, and you'll see if there's a good fit for you and your business and ASU.
Thank you, Elly. Yes, I will definitely call a spade a spade. One thing I think it's really that you have to understand about building your business in another country. There is an investment involved. Nobody is going to do that for you and basically pay your way to build your business. I know, Bernadette, it would have cost you. I know you. I don't know if you're up to the $100,000 mark yet, but it's quite an investment to actually move your business over there. It's not something, and we take a lot of that slack up. So rather than it costing you a couple of $100,000, you know, I mean, we charge $4,500 a year to basically do all your sales and marketing over there. Segue, Bernadette.
Segue, Bernadette. Yeah. One thing it is not a directory. And so I'm on a number of speaker sites over here, which I'm like, yay, they're directories. Oh my God, if it's not thumbs up, it's all happening here. Now it's morning for you, and that's empty. And I thought,
No, that's not celebrating.
I love that.
oh my God. It's not a directory. This is a small, intimate
Boutique.
Family. And so what Michelle and Terry have done is a lot of work behind the scenes, and it has taken years of working with Matthew, as Terry said before, to test and fail and test and fail and absolutely get the system right. And systems are everything. And so from my perspective, this time around, I can't really remember much from last time, although you did do outreach for me. I do remember that. But this time around, the sales and marketing document that I have is so thorough, and it's a co-creation. So we are working together on it, but it's not all me that's done it, and it's predominantly Terry and Michelle that have done the research, and I'm coming in and populating the parts that I need to populate. So it is a real co-creation, and if you are thinking of coming on board and you are a female speaker, you do have to do the work. And there is work to do. And coming from Australia, being here for 3 years, and stopping my sales consultancy a year ago and deciding to move into the speaking space full time with a little bit of stuff on the side, it takes time. And you think coming over here, it's all, you know, roses and unicorns and everything. You do have to do the work. So just letting you know that, because if you are thinking of coming on board, it's not like a bureau, and don't expect Terry and Michelle just to kind of hand you gigs or hand you engagements, I should say. I don't like the word gigs, but hand you engagements. You got to do the work.
Yeah, that's a great point. The other thing I think is important to differentiate here is, so Elly is based in Australia, and you know, we certainly don't say to people you've got to move to the USA. I think, you know, Bernadette's very fortunate there, where, you know, she's got someone like ASU who does all of her sales and marketing. Well, not all of it, because she does her own, because she's in sales anyway, but she understands the process that we do. We do all of the heavy lifting that will cost you an absolute fortune if you go somewhere else to get it done. If you go to a marketing agency, it's 50 to 100, maybe more. Whereas Elly is satellite. So Elly is based, and this is the way we actually suggest that we do it. I mean, Bernadette is the exception, not the rule. Elly is satelliting. So when Elly gets a gig in the States, she will have a visa worked out, which we also help you with. We point you in the right direction to get some help with that. Gone are the days where you can just jump across there on your ESTA visa, do a gig and come back. You can't do that anymore. But Elly's satellite, so she's based in Melbourne. And if she gets a gig, she'll fly over to LA or to JFK. All of our speakers fly to either of those airports. The fees are masked in the actual full fee. So we don't say it's this fee plus the airfare, because they freak out for some reason, because they think it's going to cost them an arm and a leg. And then Elly comes back to Australia and we go again and we look for another gig. Now, the main reason we do that is the fees in Australia around about 5,000 to 7,000. Let's go on a $5,000 fee. If you do five gigs in Australia, you'll get $25,000. If you do 5 gigs in the US, they're around about $20,000 US. That equates to around about $130,000. So you can do the math. 5 gigs for 25,000 or 5 gigs for 130,000. Now, I know it's worth the fight of your life because you're doing the same amount of work. It's just a different market. You now have a vehicle that you can jump into and drive. And we're in touch with both Bernadette and Elly on a weekly basis. Maybe you want to have a chat about that, guys, how we're fluid and how everything that we do in our marketing plan that we send to you guys is fluid and agile, and it's changing. And maybe the messaging might be a good example, Bernadette, that you sent through during the week.
WhatsApp. Yeah. So the document that I've been given a month and a half, 2 months ago was the initial one, and we kind of tweaked it, worked on it. And in the meantime, Michelle's done a lot of work behind the scenes. I've had to, one of the big things that entrepreneurs or business people or consultants or whatever have to do is they have to niche down. It's something I resist, because as a speaker, you think you can speak everywhere. And, we hear that same message all the time, no, niche. And so having help, having assistance to kind of guide you along that path has been awesome for me anyway, just the way my makeup is. And so the documents come back and forth. And I guess the intensity of that document has been absolutely amazing, because not only are we talking about compelling challenges that my particular niche has, really getting nitty gritty, like I'm talking really nitty gritty, so that not only can you speak to those challenges, but you've got to remember, as a keynote speaker, we may want to speak about inspirational and motivational stuff and stuff that really kind of is people-based. But there's our clients or our audience are businesses, and they have business challenges that they want to overcome. And so you need to be able to wrap your head around how to merge the compelling business problems and weave in your magic. And so the document that Michelle and Terry have given us is so comprehensive. They're doing the research on our competitors. They're doing the research on pricing, the investment. So all the hard work is done there, but we still have to come up and do our bit, which is doing the work as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And those documents, that is, we call it the hymn book. So we're all singing from the same hymn book. That document is reflected on the website, and the website question that Elly posed, how come there's only 11 speakers on there, so that we can give every speaker that comes onto ASU the same level of service. We're doing another intake in September. We're only bringing 10 speakers on. We bring 10 speakers on at a time, because the amount of work it takes to produce those documents and then to work those documents is incredible. You mentioned also in those documents your competitors. All right, so who in the US is speaking about what you speak about? There's a number of advantages to that. Firstly, you want to know that you're not copying or that you're not duplicating something else, so that you've got a compelling offering for the marketplace, right? To see that, and then you can gauge whether the marketplace actually needs your service. This is what speakers don't do very well. They don't do sales and marketing. Do they actually need this product? What am I developing? Oh, I've got a great idea. I'm going to go and do this. And you just go and do it without testing the market. So this allows you to do a little bit of that testing. Sometimes you can jump onto a competitor's website and have a look. They'll list the companies that they're speaking at. It's crazy. It's like great information. So you can come back to us and say, I'd like to approach these companies, and we'll actually go and find the personnel, find the data, dump the data into your program, and then shoot off. Now, Elly, from your perspective, please.
I think it's important, and what we're talking about here is appealing specifically to female speakers in Australia who want to expand their speaking business into the US. And it's important to know that ASU is different, is a different model. It'll take a conversation with Terry for you to understand the model. I think that this model and this way forward isn't for everyone. I think that there'll be people that say, yeah, I want to do that. And then they'll have a conversation with him. They'll go, no, that's not what I want to do. Or no, I'm not willing to put money in up front. Or no, I don't want to do lots of videos. Or, you know, it's, for some people, it won't be a match, but that's the conversation you need to have to see if it is a match. And if it is a match, the most exciting thing is, apart from getting on stages in America, is you get this cap. Like, seriously, look at us. Bernadette, look at us. And when I saw the cap on your head like a couple of months ago, Terry, remember I said, I want one. I want one.
Yes,
it was all about the cap. And I need a t-shirt too, because I think the branding is amazing. I think the concept is amazing. And I think, I don't know, that dream I set sort of 10 years ago, I don't know how I was ever going to make that happen. Really, it's not easy. And so when you kind of appeared out of the wilderness, and then we connected, it was like, thank you, universe. Now I actually know that will happen, and that will happen sooner rather than later for me. So yeah, female speakers in Australia, come on board, have a chat to Terry and Michelle, see if it's a right fit for you, or chat to Bernadette and I too. We'll tell you.
Yeah, like seriously, if anyone wants to speak to me, more than happy. And if if you come over to Denver, there's
I'm coming there.
There's the Aussies on the corner. It's
yeah, you got empty wine glass. That's not very attractive.
let's just wrap this up by just talking a little bit about the brand. So firstly, the brand is very attractive. You notice we're all black and white. It's very stylized, and it is being loved over there. Now the brand is very young in the US. A little bit about that. We have two parts of ASU. So we have an outreach side, which I'll talk to you about, which is basically LinkedIn. And we have a speaker bureau on the ground in California, in Santa Barbara. We have a gentleman by the name of Kyle Crocco and a beautiful girl by the name of Jade Parker, who run things over there for us. I'm based in Australia. I'm in Sydney, even though you look on my LinkedIn profile and it says Santa Barbara as well. I satellite backwards and forwards. And it's that speaker bureau is developing. The brand is developing. So the whole premise of this is to build a superhighway for Australian speakers to be able to be booked in the US on a more regular basis. At the moment, there's this sporadic thing that happens. Someone knows someone spoke for another company, and then once those bookings are done, it just flitters away like sparkle dust in the air. There's nothing we can all tangibly hang on to and say, well, that's great. There's a pathway for us to speak in the US. There wasn't before ASU came along.